Welcome to World Mysteries, where today we embark on a thrilling journey deep into the heart of China to explore four unsolved mysteries of China. Join us as we delve into tales shrouded in secrecy and steeped in legend, each one offering a glimpse into the rich tapestry of Chinese history and the enduring enigmas that have puzzled scholars and intrigued explorers for centuries. From the haunting whispers of ancient tombs to the mystical appearances of celestial creatures, these stories promise to captivate your imagination and challenge your beliefs. Stay tuned as we uncover the layers of mystery that have remained impenetrable through the ages. 1. Mystery of the Incorruptible, the enduring legacy of Zen Master Huệ Năng. Huệ Năng, the sixth patriarch of Zen Buddhism in China, is widely recognized not only for his doctrinal contributions, but also for the mysterious phenomenon of his incorruptible body after his death. He was born in 638 and died in 713, during a period when Zen Buddhism was growing into a major school within Chinese Buddhism. Coming from a non-noble family and without formal education, Huệ Năng is a model for enlightenment through personal experience and understanding. He started his life as a woodcutter before being taken in as a disciple by the great master Hongmei, following a famous debate over the nature of mind and Buddha nature. Huệ Năng stood out with his views on instantaneous enlightenment, a core foundation of Zen Buddhism. After Huệ Nang's death, it was discovered that his body did not decompose as typically happens after death. This phenomenon is not only seen as a manifestation of virtue and enlightenment, but also as evidence of extraordinary spiritual power. His body is currently displayed in a glass coffin at the Namhai Temple, attracting thousands of Buddhist followers and tourists every year. Huệ Nang's role in the development of Zen Buddhism is undeniable. He enriched the Buddhist literary tradition with the Platform Sutra and profoundly influenced Buddhist practice and thought, emphasizing direct and immediate enlightenment through real-life experience. The phenomenon of his incorruptible body continues to be a topic of interest in religious and cultural studies. What are your thoughts on the phenomenon of incorruptible bodies across different religious traditions? Is there a scientific explanation for this? Or is it just part of the mysteries that we need to explore further? Leave your comments below. 2. The day the Yangtze River ran dry and tragedy struck. In 1342, a mysterious event occurred on the Yangtze River, the legendary river of China. One night, the river suddenly dried up to the extent that the riverbed, strewn with stones, was exposed for all to see. This event left a deep imprint on the minds of the local people, as they believed it to be an ominous sign. But little did they know, it was just the beginning of a tragedy. The next day, as the first light of dawn appeared, the local residents hurried down to the riverbank. They busily searched for relics and valuables that history had buried at the river's bottom. The crowd included the old, children, and young adults, all hoping to find treasures brought forth by the river. Now, the Yangtze River had turned into a vast expanse of barren land, an immense field that stretched to the horizon. But their joy was soon cut short. By midday, as the sun climbed higher, an unusual noise echoed from upstream. It sounded like the rumble of thunder, yet not a single cloud marred the sky. Water began to swell from afar, initially as small waves, which gradually turned fierce and rushed towards them. The people panicked, racing against time to escape. Screams and cries filled the air. Some managed to reach safety, but many others were not so fortunate. The raging waters swept everything in its path, leaving behind loss and sorrow. Later scholars and historians tried to understand the cause, from geological changes to unusual hydrological phenomena. But folklore suggested that it was a warning from the deities about human greed. They believed that encroaching on sacred relics had angered the deities, and the disaster was a punishment for disrespecting nature. The tragedy of that day was not only a lesson about human arrogance and greed, but also a testament to nature's strength and unpredictability. It's a story about life and death, joy and tragedy, and the power of mysteries that we are yet to understand. As the echoes of 1342 still lingered in the minds of the elders, the event of 1954 in Taihung District brought the haunting past back to life. On a winter evening, the sky suddenly turned a deep yellow, creating a surreal yet ominous scene. The waters of the Yangtze River mysteriously receded, stranding boats on the now exposed riverbed. The local residents, who had heard stories passed down from their ancestors about a similar event centuries earlier, felt a familiar sense of horror enveloping them. Both the locals and scientists pondered whether this was a natural phenomenon or a divine omen. Various theories were proposed, from unusual hydrological changes to tectonic shifts beneath the earth, but none could provide certainty. Meanwhile, many in the community believed this was a celestial reminder of the need for humility before the power of nature. Like in 1342, after a few hours of the riverbed being exposed in all its glory, the water began to surge back with tremendous force. The river gradually turned fierce, sweeping away everything in its path. Boats that had been stranded were now subjected to violent tossing, and the people could only run to the shore to escape. These mysterious events are not just chapters in the history of a river, but also profound lessons about the relationship between humans and nature. They remind us that no matter how many centuries pass, nature always retains supreme power and never ceases to astonish humanity. Such events, whether explained by science or viewed as omens, are signs that we cannot ignore. They are stories of the past, present, and future, testaments to the connection between humans and nature, narrated through centuries of history. Have you ever experienced or heard of natural phenomena that defy explanation? How do you think communities should respond to such events? Share your stories and thoughts in the comments below. 3. The Curse of Genghis Khan's Tomb, a mysterious legacy guarded by venomous guardians. Deep in the vast expanses of Mongolia, where rolling hills conceal ancient secrets, the tomb of Genghis Khan has always been a story shrouded in mystery. Since his death in 1227, the location of his tomb remains hidden, guarded by a curse that is said to bring calamity to anyone daring enough to uncover it. As Genghis Khan lay on his deathbed, he ordered that the location of his final resting place be kept a secret. Legends say that everyone involved in his burial was subsequently killed to ensure that the secret would never be revealed. It is also believed that those guarding the tomb would suffer a terrible curse if they failed to keep the secret. Nearly 800 years later, in 2002, a group of American archaeologists claimed they had found Genghis Khan's tomb. The world waited with bated breath, but the excitement quickly turned to horror. When the team left the area they believed to be the tomb, they discovered a 2-mile-long wall surrounding the site. The wall, seemingly ancient yet unknown to the world until then, appeared as a final barricade protecting the tomb's secrets. However, what the archaeologists did not anticipate was the sudden onslaught of venomous snakes emerging from the cracks in the wall. These snakes, like silent guardians of the tomb, proved that the curse of Genghis Khan was still in effect. They prevented anyone from disturbing the emperor's rest. This event not only shocked the archaeological community, but also served as a profound lesson about respecting historical legacies. The expedition members left soon after, pondering the value of pursuing knowledge versus protecting the peace of ancient spirits. The search for Genghis Khan's tomb remains a mystery, and perhaps some secrets are indeed better left undisturbed in the shadows of the past. 4. The Legend of the Liuhua River Dragon, a tale of wonder and woe. In the summer of 1934, in the region of Doanko, a natural phenomenon unfolded that left the area in awe and shock. For 40 consecutive days, the skies poured relentless rain, causing the waters of the Liuhua River to rise to unprecedented levels, transforming the northern riverbank's reed marshes into a vast expanse of water. As the last of the rain subsided, the residents living near the northern bank of the Liuhua River made an unexpected discovery. A gigantic dragon with shimmering silver scales was trapped among the marsh reeds. News of the dragon's appearance spread quickly, and the locals believed it to be a good omen, thinking that the heavenly dragon had descended bringing blessings. The community gathered around the dragon, some using reed mats to shield it from the harsh summer sun, while others continuously poured water over its body to prevent the mythical creature's skin from drying out. Monks from nearby temples and monasteries also joined in. They employed every method they knew to pray and perform rites for the dragon, from chanting sutras to fervent prayers. Their efforts continued non-stop until a few days of torrential rain unexpectedly arrived again, and after this downpour, the mysterious dragon disappeared, leading many to believe it had ascended back to the heavens. Over 20 days after this event, the dragon reappeared, this time in a reed marsh about 10 kilometers from the mouth of the Yangtze River. However, this time, it was no longer the revered mystical creature people had admired. Instead, they found its decomposing body, emitting an unbearable foul smell. This incident left the community with many questions about the nature and meaning of their beliefs and reverence. The story of the dragon at the Yangtze River is not just a local legend, but also a profound symbol of the connection between humans and nature, between reality and the mystical, and a testament to the deep-seated belief in supernatural powers that humans have harbored. As we conclude these intriguing tales, each woven with mystery and magic, we reflect on the timeless allure of storytelling and its power to connect us across different cultures and eras. Now, we turn to you, our audience. Do you have any mysterious stories from your region? Share your tales in the comments, vote on your favorite legend from our series, and join us in continuing to explore the enigmatic and the extraordinary. Don't forget to subscribe for more adventures into the unknown.